Tory Lanez is in serious trouble after he knocked August Alsina out. Also, the actor Jessie and his ex-wife Aryn DrakeLee are going through some more drama. Stay tuned and watch this video for the full breakdown. Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. Tory Lanez got himself into some more trouble recently. Now over the weekend, Tory decided to rough up the singer August Alsina. August was left in shambles after Tory and his security team attacked him. Now, what happened? What is the backstory behind all of this? Well, I'll tell you. A couple of years ago, Tory Lanez kind of took a shot at August in one of his rap songs. He said, "Let me start effing on Jada. I ain't gonna snitch like August." So he was obviously referencing the whole interview that August did where he exposed the affair that he had with Jada Pinkett Smith. So he called August a snitch, and I think he did it for jokes, but August wasn't feeling that at all. Now, fast forward 2 years later, August and Tory did a show in Chicago over the weekend. And while they were backstage, Tory tried to greet August. He tried to dap him up, but August wasn't feeling it because he still remembered what Tory said. Now, when August rejected Tory, Tory got in his feelings and he and his crew confronted him and the situation escalated and Tory knocked August in the mouth.
You knocked his ass out, Tory? You knocked him out? I missed that shit. Tory said he just knocked August Alsina right out. 1 punch crunched him, Tory.
Now, Tory knew what he did was wrong, and I think he tried to get ahead of the story by leaking it to the blogs and telling them, hey, this is what happened. So Gossip of the City was one of the first blogs that posted about this altercation, and the report seemed to be leaning towards Tory's side. At least it seemed to be leaning that way at first. However, we saw the footage and we saw what happened. August did not instigate anything. Tory was clearly the aggressor, and August did describe what happened when Tory ran up on him. He actually posted pictures of his bruises, and he said this in one of his captions: "As I'm exiting the building after the show last night, a 4'11" size leprechaun ran down on me with 8 oversized security guards whom I greeted each individually upon their walk up as they tried to press me. Whole time, I'm one deep, no security." Tory continues to ask with a broken ego why I didn't dap him up, and I go on to tell him I was a fan of him and I didn't understand him speaking on my business publicly in the past because I don't know him or ever met him until last night. So when he spoke, it caught me off guard because of his past actions. I assume he didn't like me, that's all. Not to mention, with my history of health and condition just recently overcoming being paralyzed, my doctor directed me not to compromise my health while out on the road and shake less hands as possible due to corona and monkeypox. Never any disrespectful words were exchanged, so I was a bit confused at how somehow he turned himself up with anger after hitting a blunt laced with cocaine, obviously. I heard the fizzle. And he snubbed me when I turned my head to move to the side amongst all his antsy moving and to keep an eye on the endless dudes that was with him surrounding me, which was security and some dude with a gun tucked, whom he then proceeded to run behind and hide to run back in the building. There was never a fight, simply an assault. Dude has no real friends and is on a crash out mission. With that said, I was gonna keep it G and not come to the net, but you moving with foul intent, feeding falsities to blogs to look for a moment, cause them moments ain't happening on stage for you. I will assist you in that gracefully. His people got the whole thing on camera. Put the footage out. I'd like to see it. Anyway, let me go clean this blood off my face with some Encina wellness. So August painted a very colorful picture there, and he also posted pictures of his bruises as well. So Tory and his people really roughed him up for no good reason at all. At all. And this kind of proves one thing. Tory is really dumb. He's really dumb, and he has the tendency to be violent. Now, this is not the first altercation Tory has gotten into over the years, but it's really baffling to me that he would get into another one right in the midst of his whole case with Megan Thee Stallion. If y'all don't know, Tory is supposed to go on trial for allegedly shooting Megan. So the fact that he's still getting into trouble, even with all that's going on, tells you that he's not smart and tells you that he doesn't know how to control his anger. And this actually helps Megan's case more than anything, because the prosecutors can show the type of character he has. They could show that he has a short fuse, he gets angered easily, he gets emotional when he gets rejected, and he has the tendency to be violent. He doesn't know how to de-escalate a situation, he actually escalates a situation. So he makes himself look bad. No one has to make him look bad, he makes himself look bad. And I will acknowledge the fact that, yeah, there is a few inconsistencies in Megan's story. However, that doesn't change the fact that a gun was fired and she got hurt in the process. So if the question were asked, who is the one who took that gun out during that whole altercation, it wouldn't be surprising if the other witnesses said Tory did it. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Tory has this wild boy energy about him, and he does act like a weasel sometimes. And the crazy thing is, when he does something wrong, he tries to deny it. He always lies. In fact, he even lied about the August Alsina situation. He said, I don't know what everybody's talking about, but I've been in the studio. I'm not in anything negative. I've been working on myself and being a better person. Like, he's a liar. We've seen the video. He's a total liar. So I don't know. I think this recent incident doesn't make him look good at all. And he's currently being investigated by the Los Angeles DA, which is not a good look because the DA's office already charged him for allegedly assaulting Megan. And now they're doing another investigation on him. So Tory is screwed. I would not be surprised if he goes to jail. And honestly, he deserves to be sat down. He really does. Now moving on to the next topic. The actor Jessie Williams and his ex-wife Aryn DrakeLee are still going through a very draining child custody battle. Now Jessie and Aryn have been in and out of court for years, and they've been going back and forth with their co-parenting agreements. They had a messy battle when it came to child support. I think Jessie at one point was paying $50,000 a month in child support, and then in 2020 his payments got lowered to $40,000 a month, and then eventually when he quit Grey's Anatomy, his child support got lowered to $6,000 something a month. And the reason why it was lowered that drastically is because he quit his job on Grey's Anatomy to do Broadway. And Aryn wanted him to go back to court so he could pay more money in child support. So the whole child support battle was very, very messy. Child support is not the only issue. Jessie and Aryn are also going through a messy child custody battle. Jessie wants to spend more time with his children. He wants his children to spend some days with him out of the month. However, Aryn thinks it's unreasonable. She thinks it disrupts their schooling and it also is not in the best interest of the children. So that's what she feels. Also, Jessie is frustrated because Aryn will not allow him to speak to his children over the phone. He said in his recent court documents, Aryn almost never answers my FaceTime calls for the children. Aryn's habitual violation of this long-standing court order is emotionally damaging, not only for the children, but admittedly for me. I cannot describe how emotionally devastating it is to continuously step out of an engagement and or find a quiet, well-lit place for my one sliver of time in a day to see my children via FaceTime, the two people I love the most in the world, only to sit there staring at myself waiting as it rings and rings and rings without her answering, or her just refusing and canceling the call. I know the children can hear the sound of my distinct FaceTime calls at the same time of day each day and see Aryn refuse them. I attempted to resolve these issues with Aryn informally. Aryn refused. Aryn's conduct demonstrates her continued, unrelenting intent to frustrate my relationship with the children. So Jessie is frustrated, and right now he's filing for emotional distress because he feels like his ex-wife is not allowing him to have a good relationship with his children. And also Aryn is filing for emotional distress because she feels like she's being bullied and harassed by Jessie's legal team. And she has an issue with Jessie's schedule because she feels like his schedule is not stable enough for the children. I think she has an issue with Jessie wanting to see the children whenever he gets time, and it might not always be convenient for her and the children, so she does have an issue with it. So as you can see, this whole child custody battle between Jessie and Aryn is very draining. And if I'm being honest, I think both of them are the problem. I really do. I think Jessie moving across the country makes it difficult for him to see his children on a daily basis, and that's something he probably should have considered before taking that job on Broadway. But something tells me he did make that move so he wouldn't have to pay Aryn as much money in child support. I could be wrong about it, but that's what I feel. Because why on earth would he leave his high-paying job to move across the country and act in a Broadway show? There's no real reason for him to do that unless he's trying to duck those child support payments. But it came with a cost, because now Aryn is allegedly making it harder for him to see the children. So he should have thought twice before making a selfish decision like that, because look at what he's going through now. I get he's an actor and he has to work and he wants to expand his acting resume, but he has to think twice about some of his career decisions, because his decisions can directly affect his relationship with his children. And I think he's now realizing that. Now, on to Aryn. I think Aryn is purposely making things hard for Jessie, not because she's so much concerned about how the children are being affected, but I think she's just bitter. I'm gonna be honest, she gives me bitter vibes, and I think she's really disgruntled with the way her relationship with Jessie ended. Because if you don't know the history between Jessie and Aryn's relationship, Aryn actually helped build Jessie. For a long time, she was the breadwinner. She financially supported him, and also she supported his acting career. And she left her job in real estate to follow him to California and support him. However, Jessie started getting a lot of attention. He was the hot guy starring in one of the most popular drama series on TV, and he was getting a lot of attention. A lot of women were coming up to him, and he ended up cheating. And not only that, he filed for divorce from Aryn. So I can imagine that Aryn was pretty upset, because she poured in a lot into the relationship, and her efforts unfortunately did not pay off, because look at what they're going through now. So I do think Aryn is still bitter about that. And the reason why I think she's somewhat bitter about it is because she made a post reminding people of what she did for Jessie. She said, "My ex and I met at 22 years old on August 31st, 2003 in Brooklyn. He was living in Philly, working as a substitute teacher. I was working as a real estate broker in Brooklyn. 3 months later, he moved in with me. 9 months later, in 2004, I bought my first condo, as in just me with my money, and we moved in there. 2 years later, in 2006, after doubling my money on the condo, I sold it to buy a 2-family house around the corner. But this time I naively added his name to help build his credit and show him how serious I was about our plans for the future. In 2007, I bought a second duplex next door. I was still working as a real estate broker and he as a legal temp and a hotel server while auditioning here and there. Later in 2007, we got engaged. In 2008, the banks failed and my biz paused. Luckily, my properties had tenants and we were able to live off of my accumulated credit over the years and their rent payments to buy us some time. He started to get acting jobs here and there, and by the end of 2008, the market started to open up again in real estate, though we decided we should sell one of the houses and move to LA to give acting a more serious chance. Being from California, I had had enough of winter and was tired of working 7 days a week, and if we were going to be able to have a family, he needed to be able to make more money and build a career. By 2009, with a couple of movies under his belt to promote himself better and the movie from the sale of one of the Brooklyn houses, we took the leap of faith and moved to LA. He went first to start building relationships and I followed that fall. It felt like the stars aligning when just a couple of weeks later, after I landed in town, he booked a series regular job. Despite bringing many people onto the roster to help manage the new business, I was essentially our unofficial manager, negotiator, and business manager. Hashtag receipt season, hashtag some light cleanup, hashtag the truth matters. Now, this whole post kind of radiates bitterness. I'm sorry I have to say it. And it shows that Aryn's problem with Jessie is not really just about the kids. It's really about how their relationship ended. And don't get me wrong, I understand why Aryn is mad. I understand because she did a lot for Jessie. She did, but once Jessie got his acting career off the ground, he started bringing in the money, and he even married Aryn. So he didn't leave Aryn as soon as he made it. He stuck beside her. However, they did eventually drift apart because they both were just living different lifestyles. Aryn admitted that she hated Hollywood. In fact, on her podcast, Babies Are Trash, she said, "Hollywood and I bump heads. It was never my value system, and it was never something that I was striving for. It never felt comfortable for me because of how superficial it was. And then all that became abundantly clear when everybody went left." So Aryn hated the Hollywood lifestyle, but Jessie got immersed in it. And this is where I think the disconnect happened. As he was moving up in his career, both of them started drifting apart. And it didn't help when Jessie started creeping with other women on the low. So that even created more problems, and it eventually led to the dissolution of their marriage. And to this day, Aryn is still mad about it because of all the effort she put into their marriage. So when I see her make long posts about what she did for him, it kind of tells me that she's not really mad at Jessie because of the children. She's more so mad at how their relationship ended. And because she's mad at him, she's making it harder for him to be a part of his children's lives. And it's really unfair. I think bitter baby mamas or bitter ex-wives don't really help their children when they're bitter towards their father or when they deny them of their father. That actually hurts them. So I think Aryn needs to get it together and let that hurt go for the benefit of her children. And Jessie also needs to get it together too, because I don't think the blame should fall only on Aryn. I think he plays a part as well. He makes things difficult, she makes things difficult, and they need to just set aside whatever bitterness and grudge they have against each other and just focus on the children. They don't have to be friends, but they should at least have a cordial and respectful relationship. I mean, everything doesn't have to be drama. Just have some healthy communication and make things easy for the kids. That's all. Anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.